Now we are now. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is Bill Harris. I'm chairing the meeting today of the Gas and Oil Board. This is February 18th. It's the monthly meeting for the Virginia Gas and Oil Board. If you'd like to go ahead and get started, let me ask first that if you have a cell phone or a computer or whatever that beeps or whatever, if you would turn that, I guess I need to do it myself, if you would turn that to silent so it doesn't disturb the meeting, I'd appreciate it. We'll just start with the first item. The board will review and approve the remote attendance resolution for any board members that will be attending the meeting remotely. I have one of those resolutions. Were there any more? Was there only one that explained Bruce Prather? And it is the member's principal residence location being more than 60 miles from the meeting location. So we're being asked for an approval to him to attend remotely. Do I hear a motion to that effect?
Motion to approve.
Second. Thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And what we will do is, Ms. Gilman, if you would do a roll call of members who are here.
Mr. Owens,
Here.
Mr. Jansen,
Here.
Mr. Harris,
Here.
Mrs. Gibson, and Mr. Cochran.
And I know we usually introduce ourselves. Should we go back and do that? Yes, let's do that. I realize that. So let's, if you'll just introduce yourself and.
Patrick Owens, public member.
Thank you.
Gus Jansen, public member.
Bill Harris, a public member.
Yes, Willie Cochran, Virginia Energy.
And Bruce.
There.
Okay, well, anyway, hopefully we'll get it back. We'd like to go ahead and get started. The board will receive public comments. And I did not have a indication, I don't think, no, there's no. Did you have someone?
Hello,
Oh,
Bruce.
oh, Bruce, hey, we just did an introduction. If you would introduce yourself.
this is Bruce Prather.
Okay. Thank you then. Public comments, no public comments?
No.
Okay. We have item number 3. It's a petition from Key Rock Energy LLC for the creation of a sealed dock drilling unit in Pooley. Unit Deep Mine 25 Blue Jay number 1. Docket number is VGOB 25-0216-4302. You'd ask all parties who wish to speak to this item to please come forward and introduce themselves.
Mr. Harris, Freddie Mullins, my name's Freddie Mullins. I'm representing Key Rock Energy, and I have Morgan Pate here with me today to present evidence to the board.
Mr. Pate, do you swear and affirm that your testimony is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And if the record will show, we have no others, so you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Mr. Pate, could you please state your name for the board?
Morgan Pate,
And how are you employed?
geologist.
And what is it that you do for Key Rock?
Permit wells, drill wells. On the environmental side of their operations. I'll say that's included.
And is Key Rock Energy authorized to conduct business in the Commonwealth of Virginia?
Yes.
And is there a bond on file with this department for them to be able to conduct business?
Yes.
And you're familiar with the application that we have here for what we call Blue Jay number 1, is that correct?
Yes.
And is this for a coal bed methane well?
Yes, sir.
And is this unit located in the North Coal Bed gas field?
Yes.
And how many acres does it contain?
444.83.
And can you tell the board what Key Rock plans to do if this application is granted?
The drill application drill a well, drill into the sealed gob area and produce gas, meter it, flare it for the generation of carbon credits.
And, with these carbon credits, what happened with them then?
They are sold on the open market after a verification process.
And you may have said this is for the sealed off sections of which deep mine?
Mine 26,
And what seam of coal is the coal bed methane produced from?
lower Banner Coast.
And has Key Rock obtained leases for a portion of this unit?
Yes,
And have you obtained leases from all of the Intervest operations that Intervest possesses in this unit?
yes.
And how is Intervest conformed to what we're doing here today?
Certified amount return receipt requested.
And has that notice been filed with the board?
Yes.
And what percentage of the unit does Key Rock have under lease currently?
82.3%.
And the percentage that Key Rock does not have under lease?
17.7, all of which are unknown.
Okay. And how were these unknown numbers informed of this proceeding?
Notice of order, publication and Dickinson style.
And what percentage of the unit are you seeking to pool today?
100%.
And are you requesting that the board pool the interest of all the parties listed on Exhibit B of this application?
Yes.
And are you requesting the board establish a procedure where all parties listed on Exhibit B3 shall have the right to one of the options listed in the application filed with this board?
Yes.
And what lease terms would you be offering these owners?
They would be paid annually on a royalty basis,
And what percentage royalty would they pay?
1.5%.
And is that the rate of royalty that's being paid to Intervest?
Yes.
What's the proposed depth of this well?
384 feet,
And do you know the estimated reserve?
approximately 650 MMCF.
And are you familiar with the projected well cost of this Blue Jay #1?
Yes.
And did you prepare an AFE that's been filed with this application?
Yes, sir.
And is that Exhibit C that's been filed with the application?
Yes.
And what is the estimated dry hole cost?
Approximately $115,000.
And are you asking the board to create a sealed gob drilling unit and pool that unit?
Yes.
And a portion of that pooling would be voluntary, correct?
Yes, sir.
And a portion involuntary.
Yes.
And are you asking the board to name Key Rock Energy as the operator for this unit?
Yes.
And in your opinion, as we sit here today, if the board grants the application, would it prevent waste, promote conservation, and protect correlated rights?
Yes.
That would be our evidence from Mr. Pate, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions from board members?
Just one quick question regarding your AFE. You indicated your dry hole cost for $115,085. You've got zero in there on your forward dry hole cost. Instead of, you got the production cost.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Usually dry hole cost would be, you drill the well and had a problem, we're going to continue on with the tangible costs there associated with the KC. You factor that dry hole cost.
Yes.
You correct that before you
Yes, sir.
start that, please? The dry hole would be the 97,000. You abandoned it at the beginning. Maybe it's less than plugging costs, I guess that'd be the part. You would plug it, you plug it, you know.
Yes, sir. We'll correct that.
I had a question. I was looking, the shut-in payments. Did you all address that? You know, we had that issue on one other case, and I know that, there were some questions about how that was going to get paid out. Did you, I mean, I think you're all going to revisit that. So we won't have to revisit it in the future. And I just wondered if that was addressed.
That is contained in the proposed order. Mr. Chair, there is the layout of shut-in payments that would correspond to what we're asking on Key Rock M 26-1.
Any other questions from board members? I'll entertain a motion relative to the item.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, Ms. Hill, would you call the board meeting?
Mr. Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Cochran,
Yes.
and Mr. Prather.
yes,
Thank you. Motion failed. Thanks. Number 4 here is a petition from Key Rock Energy LLC for a well location exception, unit deep mine 26. Word there for a second, that's not good. 26 Blue Jay number 1, docket number VGOB 25-0218 4303. And ask all persons who wish to speak to this item to please come forward.
Freddie Bones appeared on behalf of Key Rock Energy, Mr. Chair, and I plan on calling Morgan's Pay.
Okay? And we'll remember, Mr. Patrick, remember he's been sworn in, and the record will show that there are no others. They, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Pay, could you please state your name for the record?
Morgan Pay,
And how are you employed?
geologist for Key Rock.
And is Key Rock Energy authorized to conduct business in the Commonwealth of Virginia?
Yes, sir.
And is there a bond on file with this department allowing Key Rock to conduct business?
Yes.
And you're familiar with this application, this well location exception for what we call Blue Jay number 1?
Yes.
And is this unit located in the North Colbeck gas field?
Yes.
And how many acres does it contain?
144.8.
And can you tell the board what Key Rock's plans are if this application is granted today?
I will submit a drill application, drill the well and meter the gas and flare generation of carbon credit.
And what happens with those carbon credits then after they're generated?
They're verified by an outside body and then sold on the open market.
And what seam of coal is the Colbeck methane to?
Solar better pulsing, excuse me.
And has Key Rock Energy obtained leases for a portion of this unit?
Yes.
And are those with Intervest?
Yes.
And how is Intervest informed of this proceeding?
Certified mail return receipt requested.
And what percentage of the proposed unit does Key Rock currently have under lease?
82.3%.
And what percentage of Key Rock do you not have under lease?
17.7%.
And out of the 17.7%, are those known owners?
They're unknown.
And how are these unknown unleased owners informed of these proceedings?
Order of publication of the Richardson Star.
What's the proposed depth of this well?
384 feet,
And what about the estimated reserves?
650 MMCF.
And now, did you prepare an AFE that's been filed with this application?
Yes.
And what is the, make sure I use the right terminology, the grand total well cost?
115,000.
All right. And is the proposed well location for Blue Jay number 1, is that 311 feet from Key Rock Energy well M26-1?
Yes.
And is the proposed well location for Blue Jay number 1, 383 feet from Key Rock Energy, what we refer to as a slope drain vent pipe?
Yes.
And is Key Rock requesting that the board enter an order to enable Blue Jay number 1 be drilled as shown on the plat that's been filed as Exhibit K?
Yes.
And is the proposed well location necessary to effectively and efficiently drain a portion of the common source of supply underlying the unit?
Yes.
And is it your opinion that that supply cannot be adequately and efficiently drained without this exception?
Yes.
You believe that this prevents waste, promotes conservation, and protects correlative rights?
Yes, sir.
That's all the questions I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Questions from board members?
Why exactly do we, is it need to be in the spot that we'll have to be little less than 400 feet from two of them? Why?
The two, excuse me, my purposes, the two biggest reasons are that that area of the mine is higher up dip than other portions of the mine. And because of the yellow surface for that well. That well is proposed.
Is there anything in the law that requires that separation? That you just mentioned? The separation of, or that you just mentioned?
In terms of the distance between the wells.
Yeah.
1,000 feet of coal bed methane.
Yeah, so
Have you looked at, I mean, could it be 1,000 feet? I mean, have you looked at the surrounding area, would it be this is sufficient or just?
it definitely could be 1,000 feet. Look at the aerial photos of this mine with this still area. To get to 1,000 feet away from the slow drain bit piping in 61 would require crossing a railroad track, a small stream, and going up very steep mountain. It would add significant cost to the project.
I would suggest in the future that you maybe provide a topographic map of the area and the surrounding impediments that you may need to found, because we don't want to have reference to that as an application.
Yes, sir.
Just so we know what you're talking about in the future.
Any further questions? Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the board operates on a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay, and, yeah, Ms. Gilmore, if you would call the board members?
Mr. Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yeah.
Mr. Cochran,
Yes.
and Mr. Prather.
yes,
Thank you.
Application is approved. Okay, number 5. Petition, I'm sorry.
Looking at warehouse.
Oh, that's okay.
March 18th.
A petition from Key Rock Energy LLC for modification of pooling order M 26-1. Docket number BGOB 24-0220-4280, paragraph 9.2. The unit is Key Rock M 26-1. Docket number BGOB 24-0220-4280-01. This item was continued from January, the January docket. This item will be continued to the March 18th, 2025 docket. Board hearing due to, re-notification of revisions to the petition. So did you want to make any comment?
Just to give the board an update, staff was good enough to work with us. We have the language that has been submitted for the modification of M 26-1. It's the same language that you saw in the that you just approved for Blue J number 1. I've got to fix one more paper for Ms. Gilmer, and they would be sending those out for notification again. We'll be here next month.
Okay, yeah, like I said, the last time you kind of dug a hole and,
I'm still trying to dig out of it.
well, all right, let me just, do I need to make some official statement about the continuation? I don't know if I need to say approved, but let's just say it's approved. I don't know if that's discretionary.
So board probably just since you already say it's approved.
Yeah, okay. We acknowledge that and we will approve the continuation. But then let me ask this, we talked about this. When this arose, did you have other items? I know going forward, you're kind of more alert to that. Are we going to be faced with, and I'm not saying that in a negative manner, but are we going to see other items that are going to come forward and say, oh, we need to revisit this because of the language of that? Taking a paragraph, have you,
There are any wells that we would seek to bring back before the board. Yes,
okay,
sir.
so we're going to see,
A couple, most of our E-mine 41 wells are under lease, to Intervest at 100%. So those.
so that's all between you, yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
We thank the board for its consideration.
Thank you. Good day. Move on to the next item. Next item is number 6, a petition from Pocahontas Gas LLC for pooling under Oakwood Colbed Methane, man, I can't talk today. Colbed Methane Gas Field 2, unit is Y34. The docket number is VGOB 24-1217-4298. This is continued from December 2024. We ask all parties who wish to speak to this item to please come forward.
Mark Schwartz and Kelly Berry.
And I guess Ms. Berry needs to get sworn in.
Mrs. Berry, do you swear and affirm that your testimony is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Kelly, could you state your name for us, please?
Kelly Berry,
Who do you work for
Pocahontas Gas LLC.
and what do you do for them?
I am a senior analyst of land records, division orders, and pooling.
And did you prepare the petition and the exhibits for this hearing that we're going to be considering now?
Yes,
Who is the applicant?
Pocahontas Gas LLC.
And if the application is approved, who are you requesting be the board's designated operator?
Pocahontas Gas LLC.
And is Pocahontas Gas LLC authorized to do business in the Commonwealth?
Yes,
And has it registered with the DMME and the division?
yes,
Does it have a blanket bond on file as is required?
yes,
And are you appearing today on behalf of Pocahontas Gas with regard to this petition to pool?
yes,
Okay. And this application was originally filed and was set for hearing in December, correct?
yes, it was.
And what did you do to notify the respondents of the filing and the hearing?
The notice was published in the Bluefield Daily Telegraph, and we also noticed the owners by certified mail with return receipt requested.
And have you provided the division with proof of publication and certificates with regard to mailing?
Yes,
And after this was initially filed and set for the December hearing, did you modify this application?
yes.
And when you did that, what did you do to inform the respondents that what we were going to consider today would be a modification?
We mailed the modified application to the respondents by certified mail with return receipt requested.
Okay, and when did that happen? The revision?
That was mailed on, excuse me, January 30th, 2025.
And did you provide an updated certification with regard to that to the division?
Yes,
Okay, you have named 2 respondents in your application, is that correct?
yes, Janice and Jeremy Davis.
Do you want to dismiss either one of them or both of them?
No,
Do you want to add anybody as additional respondents?
no,
Okay. And this application seeks to pool this unit, Y34, under both Oakwood Colbed methane rules, field rules 1 and 2, correct?
that's correct.
And you've provided us in your application and exhibits a list of the wells in the unit, correct?
Yes,
Estimate of allowable costs for the panel, correct?
that's correct.
Okay. At PDF page, let's see here, looks like page 5, have you provided a plat of unit Y34?
Yes, we have.
And in that map or plat, you show the wells within the unit.
Yes,
And then the next exhibit in your application is the tract identifications, and you show the Davises in tract 5, correct?
that's correct.
And going back up to the plat, PDF page 5, tract 5 is in the upper or in the northeast corner of the unit, correct?
That's correct.
And most of that tract is in adjoining units.
It is.
Okay. Initially, when the wells were drilled in this unit, they were frac wells, correct?
That's correct.
And when the unit was originally pooled, was it force pooled or voluntarily pooled?
When the unit was originally drilled back in the 90s, the tract that we now show as tract 5 was not mapped in the unit, and it was drilled as a voluntary unit.
Okay, and when did you discover, or how did you discover that tract 5 was omitted?
Updated title work and mapping work in 2024 showed that this tract is located in the unit, and that is why we are seeking to pool the unit now.
Okay, and that was done when you were updating an adjoining unit, correct? That's when you
Yes.
discovered it.
Yes,
And have you corrected the title in the adjoining unit
yes, we have.
already?
Yes,
And have you also been in front of the board with regard to that unit?
yes, we have.
Okay. Let's continue on here. If we go to Exhibit B, you've given us a list of all claimants, owners, and claimants, correct?
That's correct.
Up a little bit here. And the Davises have how many acres in the unit?
0.44.
And their percentage is what in the unit?
0.55%.
So with regard to past frac production, that is going to be their interest, and that's what's going to be paid to them.
Yes, it is.
And then have you also provided a division of interest for the Davises in 3 South?
Yes,
And going forward, when that starts to produce, what will their division of interest be in 3 South?
0.1039%.
Actually, I misspoke. What will their division of interest be in the gas coming from 3 South to this unit?
That would be 0.1039%.
Continue on. We have the exhibit B3, which identifies the Davises as the only people we're seeking the forced pool, correct?
That's correct.
And you provided an estimate of cost with regard to wells in the longwall panel unit at PDF page 10, and then at PDF page 11, you have taken your costs in 3 South and allocated them to the individual units in Oakwood 2 that would share in the production from 3 South, correct?
That's correct.
And what's the cost that would be allocated to Y34?
That is $2,885,508.18.
At the next PDF, page 12, you've provided us with a overlay of the mining and the 3 South panel within the unit, correct?
Yes,
And will there continue to be frac production in this unit?
yes, until mining intersects and approaches the frac well, at which point it will be plugged.
Yeah, if the unit that will continue to produce, or the well that will continue to produce as a frac well, is that the Y34 unit?
Yes, it is.
And that if, to make it easier for the board to locate that, it's on the, or it's toward the east, it's fairly close to the east boundary of the unit and somewhat south of the midpoint of the unit, correct?
Yes, that will be well Y34B.
And will that be the only well that will continue if this application is approved and production starts from 3 South? Is that the only well that will continue to pay, at least for some time in the future, as a frac well?
Yes,
And that's why we provided the 2% percentages, the Davis's interest in the unit as a whole, which would be the frac production, and then their interest in the portion, in the percentage of production from 3 South that's allocated to Y34. Is that correct?
yes,
And then lastly, have you provided a copy of the order that you would propose to have entered in the event this application is approved?
yes,
And is it your opinion that if you take the leases and other interests that the applicant has acquired and combine that with a pooling order for us, pooling the Davises, the correlative rights of all owners of the coal bed methane will be protected?
yes,
And is it your belief and opinion that this petition and the order requested contemplates a reasonable way to produce and account for the coal bed methane in this unit?
yes.
With regard to royalty and payments, what are your recommendations to be included within the order?
12.5% royalty.
I think that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, questions from board members? I guess we're ready for a motion on the item. Or further questions or Joe? I'm motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second for approval. Any further discussion? Would you call the board?
Mr. Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes,
Mr. Cochran, and Mr. Prather.
yes,
That item is approved, Mr. Schwartz and Ms. Barrett. Thank you for presenting that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is that it again?
That's all the items on the agenda.
Yeah. Number 7.
Oh, that's all for presentation. Okay, number 7. For us, the board will appoint and vote on a new chairman for the Virginia Gas and Oil. What happens there? I don't know.
Well, I guess that's the decision amongst you,
Oh,
as to who you would want to nominate as the chair. Because I do have to get that approved by the judge.
okay, I thought you all had already leverage some people into there, so.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you-
We just
When I
heard.
read that, I thought, oh, they found someone this.
No,
Well, we hope to find somebody today.
that's right.
And then once you all approve someone, then that person will be the interim chairman until the governor gives the final appointment.
Whoever can serve temporarily as interim until we get one appointed by the governor.
What kind of time frame?
Depends on the governor's, how fast he moves off, the office moves. Quicker we get something in, the better chance we have to get something settled quickly. Usually like to do it within 60 days, but that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, who wants to do this?
We have any volunteers or if we want to nominate someone.
I had said when this came up that I am not interested in continuing permanently, so I did. I don't know if I told you all that, but I did tell you.
You did, I think you did, but you do it in the interim until we got the chair.
Do that in the interim. Does that mean I'm volunteering?
Well, whoever you all choose today to be the chairman will be the interim until, so
We
you,
can
going-
do that.
they'll
You could
just,
be the interim until we get it officially, if you are the official chairman.
I don't like this.
I think that's who I thought when I said that Gus has decided to do it. What do you think, Gus? What's your,
I'd be willing to start as chairman.
Well-
Board.
and I know you know the rules and regulations because you've worked in the industry probably better than I do. That was one of my concerns. I guess we need seconds for nomination.
Just make a nomination to nominate him and then board take a vote.
So is that a motion?
Yeah,
to-
that's motion,
Gus?
motion to nominate, Gus as chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Real fast on that.
Yeah, let the board
Any
vote.
other nominations? Any further questions or discussion? Well, I don't know, we need to have a roll call vote, but all.
Well, I'd say let's do a roll call. I'm
Yes,
just
let's
making
do a roll
a
call.
motion.
okay, Mr. Owens?
Yeah.
Mr. Jansen? Mr. Harris? Mrs. Gibson? Mr. Cochran?
Yes.
And Mr. Prather?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Congratulations. Okay, folks, so thank you. That'll work well.
Well, just to decide too, we do have a vacancy that we're working on trying to get somebody to fill that vacancy.
Yes.
Take Donnie's place as coal representative.
Right, yeah.
We do have a potential candidate. I don't know, I haven't talked to him the last day or two. Some of you may know the person that volunteered, Dale King, worked for Jules Smokeless. Anyway, that has not been official yet or hasn't been approved, but it's tentatively, who could be the next nominee to take Donnie's place.
Sounds good.
Now, in case you didn't know, we got Donnie something to recognize him for the
That's good.
22-year service, so we'll see that, we'll get it to him.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Looks good. Okay, was that the update?
But last thing, we do plan to have a March 18th meeting. We've got 3 petitions and probably looks like a 4th one with Key Rockland adds on to it, correct?
3 total.
3 total right now.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, review the January minutes. You'll have a chance to review those. Any comments, questions, or I'll entertain a motion. Motion to approve. We have the motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed? Right, thank you. I guess we are, we are finished. I think of the correction.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to, thank you. We have it second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Fine, thank you. Fine, we are adjourned. Need a gavel.